Hello, my name's Neil and welcome to today's episode of Retro for You. On today's episode we're looking at this here, an Amiga 500 Plus. Now this is coming to me for repair. I thought why not do a video on it so you can see what sometimes I get in for repair in the shed. I never ever power these on until I took a look inside because of the battery damage that can be caused inside, because we all know these have the Varta bomb inside. So thank you to PCBWay for sponsoring this video, and on that note, let's crack on. When you're restoring and building retro computers, sometimes you need a little more help. That's where PCBWay come in. They produce high quality custom PCBs perfect for replacement boards, prototypes, or even your own retro products. So once you've got your project you want to build, all you got to do is simply click Add to Cart, which is this big green button on the right hand side. Once you've done that, you're presented with this new page here. Now it'll say here we have detected 2-layer board at 45 by 51, etc. Depending on what board you got, obviously that changes. And as long as it says here 100% success, you're all good to go. Now there is a hyperlink at the top here for simple tutorial, which will give you some more information should you get lost. And we do have some options we do need to set. The first one being make sure you have the right country selected for your shipping costs, so you can make sure you're paying the right amount of postage to get it to your country. Now you got the quantity here, which is always set to 5, which is great because you've always got spares if things do actually go wrong on your build. Now also a couple of options down below which are worth looking at is here, which is your solder mask color and also your silk screen color. So your solder mask color is the color of the board, the silk screen color is the color of the words on the board, and last but not least, down the bottom here you can have assembly service if you want to get this board built, and then SMD stencil, which is a small stencil you put over your board. You scrape the paste on and it puts the paste onto the pads, which makes it easier to solder. Just word of warning, when you order these, don't order a huge one like I tend to do. After you've done this, you click the button here, save to cart. It will then be processed. After processing, it will require payment. After you've paid, it will then move to production status. Then of course after production it'll be sent out to you. As you can see, the colour of the boards is absolutely excellent and the quality is second to none. Great job PCBWay. Did they also mention not only does PCBWay do boards, they also do 3D printing, which is great for projects like this when you need a case, but also they do CNC machining, which again is great for other projects just like this. So whether you're into repairing a retro classic or just building something brand new, PCBWay is the way to go. So check out the link down below, and on that note, let's crack on. So here we have the Amiga 500 Plus in for repair. Now, yeah, the keyboard's a bit grubby, but that can be cleaned up. I did notice, if you can see along here, it's missing pins off joystick 1 and joystick 2. Now, I'm just going to get my screwdrivers and I'm just going to crack on and get that apart so we can have a look inside. There's a lot of lovely cobwebs and stuff in here. It's still got the RF shield on, which shows it hasn't been much taken apart. And the tabs are still flat as well. You can see here that definitely needs a refurb. You can see how mucky it is. It's disgusting. Looking at it now, I've actually seen worse than this, so I think we can save this. Now what we're looking at here is one rusty Varta. Now usually it gets damaged around these diodes here on the audio filter, but it seems to have missed that. It seems to have only gone this way here a bit. So what he's done is it's gone over this 74LS chip here, which is on the data path. Now that is normal. We should, by the looks of it, be able to clean that up, and we should be able to snip this battery out. Also the Gary chip here seems to have took it on the pins as well, so we won't know how bad that is until we take this chip out and we'll crack on, we'll try and get this repaired. Let's bust out the old nut twister and get this RF shield removed. Now, as I said, you can see here, this is where the main damage is, and we need to just snip that battery out and sort that out. We also have these sockets here to sort out, if you can see them. You see there? They're missing loads of pins. Crazy, isn't it, how that's happened? So we need to sort these two joystick ports out as well. And of course, look at this socket here, because this socket here is quite bad. And we're just going to pull Gary out of his socket. It's like he doesn't want to come out one side. That's probably because he's stuck in with all the green stuff. So there you go, we've actually got Gary out and he looks okay. He's got all his legs, albeit a bit green. So we're going to put him to one side, and this socket here definitely needs removing, unfortunately. Let's just have a look under the scope. I can show you what we're dealing with. So you can probably see now how bad this Gary socket is underneath the microscope. Now we just go along, you can see which side it was really stuck, was this side here. You can see how bad it is. It's just totally eaten away. Some of the pins here are actually physically missing. You can tell, look how crusty. Now you can see the old Varta battery there. Now it has it this 74LS244N chip. Now I'm just going to see if I can snip that battery off. We're going to get this Gary socket off here. So I'm going to get my desoldering gun. I'm going to move as much solder as I can off this here. So I'm just going to see if I can get these two joystick ports here and here removed, because like I said before, they are bad. So just bear with me. It's the next day and we're back on this Amiga board here. Well, we're going to carry on and get it repaired. Now, I have my white vinegar now. I'm just going to apply some of this around, and it may actually fizz a bit as well. I'm just going to leave that now for a few minutes to just work its magic. I can see it fizzing away. So it's another day. What I basically did the other night off camera, although all of it didn't record, was I finished repairing these traces along here. You see these were the broken traces, so we have this one here along to this pad here, which is okay, and also I had to put a little bit of a patch wire from there to there. So just from this leg here to that via there. So that just patches those two broken traces. Now I have checked all the traces along here and they all check out okay. So what we're going to do today is we're going to get this socket put back on here so we can get Gary put back in, and also we're going to replace the joystick ports here at the back. I've also checked them traces out as well. So tonight what we're going to be doing is hopefully getting this complete and finished. So we're going to make sure that the semicircle here lines up with the semicircle there. Just makes it easier, and this should hopefully push through, because I spent a bit of time cleaning these legs out. And hopefully, come on, you know you want to go in. Hopefully that is through now. As easy as that. It's just to keep it in place. And there you have a brand new socket. And doesn't that look better than that evil green thing that was in there? And of course that means Gary now can go back in to his new socket, just like so. Look at that. Does that not look great? What we're going to do next is get these two ports on here, which are the joystick ports. Here we are with this board now. Hopefully it's gonna work now. It's had the new ports, it's had the repair work around this 74LS chip, and it's had the whole Varta battery taken off, which we know is nothing but trouble. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get all this back together into the Amiga case. Join me on the desk when we actually get around to testing this. So yeah, we've got keys here, etc. All seem to be working. Seems like we've got a row here that does not. So number 2, that, and does not work. So we've got our line out there, unfortunately. So it looks like this needs a new membrane. I'm going to put in the ROM, the 2.0 ROM that came with it, and we're going to try and boot it off the old floppy disk and see if we can load a game to play and try these joystick ports out. Probably see now it has actually booted to the disk icon, which is absolutely brilliant. I've got a joystick plugged in with its waggly bits, and we've got a tank mouse plugged in, and we're just going to stick this disc in here and see what loads. Oh, so it has, and you can see there I press the fire button and it actually works. So it looks like the joystick ports of the mouse port have actually been fixed. It's just a shame about the keyboard membrane, but you can see there I'm actually jumping and things are looking spectacular. I'm going to leave the video here. I can't really do much more until we order a membrane for it, but I'm going to put it together. The main thing is it's working. We sorted out that green goo. We sorted out the issue with the red screen. So that's about it for this week. Next week I've got some Amiga projects coming that is absolutely amazing. I've been waiting for this for some time. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy it as much as I am. It's something I've got to build, and it's something that is uber cool. Whether I can get it done or not is a different matter, but I'll try my best this week to get that done. Don't forget to check out the link to the Discord down below. Also, don't forget to check out my YouTube buddies. You've got to like to Captain Commodore, 8-Bit Retro Refix and Josib. They all do great things. Don't forget also to drop a comment down below, even if it's hello. And if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. So on that note, I shall see you next time on Retro for You. See you soon, guys. Bye.